Good morning. Welcome to the Intercultural Programs and Facts Information session. We are so excited that you are here. I'm going to show myself just now so you can see me. My name is Katie Russo, and I am the Assistant Director of Intercultural Programs. And I am joined today by members of FACSS, and additionally, we are joined by two international student advisors. We are here to answer your questions. We're going to give a quick presentation, and I will introduce them in just a moment. I'm going to go through a few logistics. So first of all, you can see and hear us, but we cannot see and hear you. So if you have questions, you can see a Q&A box in the top right of your screen, and you can type questions there. We will probably wait until we're going through the we're done with the presentations to answer your questions, but please feel free to send those because we know that you probably have a lot of questions. We also have closed captioning available in this session. So you'll see a CC link on your screen. You can choose which language you'd like to see captioned across the screen. So there's English and there's several other languages available. So hopefully this will help you while you're watching our webinar. And I'm going to introduce my guests. So firstly, I have Chen Qian, and I will bring her up. She is from FACSS. So do you want to unmute yourself?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Chen Qian.
Yes. And then we also have Berkeley, and she is an international student advisor.
Hi, everyone. I'm Berkeley. It's nice to meet you all.
And we have Lauren, another advisor from ISSO.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren.
Okay, well, we will go back to our presentation. All right, guys. Okay, so just a little bit about my office, Intercultural Programs. The mission of ICP is to lead the UTD community in opportunities that foster global engagement. So we do this in two ways. One, we generate experiences that promote, develop, and enhance intercultural competence. So we do this a lot through programming. We put on events that really support global engagement, teach people about the world and about cultures. My personal favorite is International Week, and that's a huge week-long event that a lot of you participate in and put on events and teach people about your home country. And then we also do workshops and activities. So sometimes we'll teach an intercultural competence activity for faculty members, or we'll do that with students as part of leadership training, a lot of things. Number two, we support the integration of international students into campus life. So one of the main ways we do that is international student orientation. And so we wanted to include this webinar as kind of a piece of international student orientation. So international student orientation is very important. For fall 2020, it is not mandatory, but recommended for all international students. And I put the web address here so you can copy and paste that into your browser. And we have three different components to orientation. One is the pre-arrival modules. The second is our online orientation modules. So I know those sound similar, but the pre-arrival modules, those are actually kind of intended for you to take before that you really get to UTD. They help you understand how to kind of set things up when you get here. So housing and traveling to UTD, getting here. What are some of those basics about a US university that you might not know yet? The online orientation is very specific, and so it kind of tells you those next steps. Once you're admitted, once you're ready to come, what do you look for? Or ready to take classes, I guess, not even ready to come. So we recommend taking a look at those. You all have access, and if you go to our International Student Orientation website, you'll be able to see exactly what you need to do to access those. And the third thing, which I'm really excited about, we have live sessions just like this through Microsoft Teams. So you can, just like you're watching today, you can watch those through your browser, or you can watch them through the Microsoft Teams app, which you're able to download as a UTD student. So we'll be posting our event list online on our website, and it's just going to have a link to the Teams link, and you can go to that. FACSS is actually participating with us, and so you'll be able to meet them and meet more of their team, learn a little bit more about what they do to support students. But we have a ton of sessions that will be helpful, like paying your tuition and fees and how to stay healthy while you're studying, all those kinds of things. I am really excited for those. Some of our cultural events, these are things that you might be able to participate in, even if you're not studying at UTD physically. So we have iFriend. This is another one of my favorite programs. We pair international and domestic students to meet throughout the semester, and we hope they become best friends. You get to participate in very specific trainings and programs that are only made for iFriend. We're working right now on how to figure out how we can do this in a more virtual environment, taking all the COVID and the CDC regulations into account, because it's very important for us to make sure everyone's staying safe. I already talked a little bit about iWeek. It happens the first week of April every year. This year, we didn't get to have it on campus, but we got to have a virtual one. So some of you might have seen that through our Instagram and Facebook accounts. Passport to the World is fun. That's our kickoff event. And so it's a fair where everybody represents their home country, and you can serve food, you can put on music, and it's a huge competition, and the whole campus loves it. We get 500 or 600 people coming through it. And the Global Talent Show is also awesome. And that's where you can sing, dance, perform any talent you have that represents a culture, and you can compete to win. Everybody wants to win, right? And so we have a website. If you want to see what we've done in the past, you can go to our iWeek website. It's fun. If you want to contact us, I have our information posted. And so our phone is still being responded to. So even if you call us, keep in mind that I know there's a time difference. So we work 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Time. So just remember that. But our email is probably the best way to send us a message and to get a response. We usually respond within 2 business days at the most. You can also look at our webpage for a lot of answers. And like I mentioned, we're doing a lot of virtual events right now. So follow us on Instagram. We have twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week, we have a live lunch series that happens. And so you can see our program coordinator talking with student groups, talking with other staff members, putting on an event for students to participate in. It's really fun. So I hope you follow us. Thank you. And I am going to turn it over to Chenkian. Let me bring up her content. I'm getting it. Okay. Sorry, guys. It takes me a minute to get everything. There we go. Okay. So Chenkian, now it is your turn. I'm going to mute myself.
All right. Thank you, Catherine. Hi, everyone. I'm Chenkian Zhou. I'm the current president of FACSS. I'm going to be a junior this fall. In my past 2 years at UTD, I've really enjoyed it, and my unforgettable memory in here cannot be created without FACSS. Time really flies by. I could sometimes still see myself as a freshman who is very excited and looking forward to my college life. At the same time, I was also very curious and confused about all the new surroundings. I was looking for an org that could help me make friends and participate in events. So one friend introduced FACSS to me. Then I thought, why not? I joined FACSS and learned that this is a great organization that really helps students in many different ways. Now, after 2 years me sitting here thinking about my decision joining FACSS, I feel amazing and appreciated. And this is why I'm here today to talk to you. I'd like to share something about FACSS with you. Hopefully, after my presentation, it would make you look forward to college life more. So now let's jump right into the presentation. Today, I'm going to talk about FACSS from 2 different perspectives: what FACSS is and what FACSS does. First, to answer the question what FACSS is, we need to know the background of FACSS. So, FACSS stands for Friendship Association of Chinese Students and Scholars. It was founded in 1988 and has a history over 32 years now. There are 7 different departments in FACSS: activities, career planning, internal affairs, publicity, information technology, human resource, liaison. All 7 different departments playing their own unique role to better assist students and complete FACSS as a whole. Next, let's talk about the service that FACSS does to answer the question what FACSS does. I have divided FACSS service into 2 big categories. One is a service that satisfies students' needs. Another is a service that satisfies students' wants. Let's talk about the service that satisfies students' needs first. So to help freshmen get ready for their college life, we have created Freshman Guidebook, which includes all kinds of useful information that a student possibly needs, such as housing, transportation, and food. This year, in addition to the physical book, we are making the electrical version so that students could have easier access to the information they need anytime, anywhere. At the same time, our WeChat official account will continue to update students with helpful guides and interesting events. I have included the QR code of the official account at the end of the presentation. You could scan it to stay updated. And besides what I have just talked about, FACSS hosts security information sessions and career planning events throughout the year. FACSS has also helped Chinese consulate in organizing passport applying events and distributing health bags. We also understand that college life will not be completed without entertainment. So now let me show you some FACSS service that satisfies students' wants. Every year we have held different fun events, such as Mid-Autumn Festival and Lantern Festival parties, 72 hours blind dates, masquerade, esports competition, basketball games, and team building activities. And if you have any good ideas of fun events that you like to create your own, feel free to reach out to us. We are very open-minded and like fresh stuff. So next, let me conclude my presentation with a short video. Well, that concludes everything that I need to talk about today. it's your question time. Feel free to ask any questions that you have in your mind. And in the screen, there's also a QR code. If you like to scan it and stay updated, or you're just interested in what we're doing, you can scan it as well.
All right, thank you, Chen-Kian. That looked fantastic. I loved your video, and those events look so much fun. So we have a few questions. Someone is asking how to use iFriend. Oh, and it looks like one of the FACSS members sent our iFriend website to that student. So thank you, Yue. Okay, and I have a question for one of our international student advisors. So I am currently in America and hold an F2 visa. If I do not get my F1 visa before September 1, can I do full-time study or part-time study only? For example, can I register 4 classes later and change my status as soon as possible to get my F1 visa?
So I can answer that. So if you have an F2 visa, you should only enroll part-time, so part-time study. So if you are undergrad, should do 11 hours or less. And if you are a grad student, you should do 8 hours or less. It would be a violation of the visa to do full-time study as holding an F2. Now, if you do a change of status to an F1, then you could do full-time. But that would be what we would advise.
Thank you, Lauren. So we have another question, either for you or Berkeley. It says the policy right now is that you can't enter America if you stayed in China in the past 14 days. However, more and more people started saying that you can pass the border control if your schools start reopening as usual this fall semester. So it sounds like the question is, do you have any clarity on if a student from China can come and study for the fall semester and start on time?
So, I mean, as we know, well, I'm muted. Oh, okay. So as we know, everything changes all the time with COVID. I have not heard that students from China cannot enter the United States. I would recommend reading the CDC with the travel ban updates. And then obviously if, we want students to come here. So if you are allowed to come into the country, then yes, definitely come in. But, I would go to the CDC and check the travel ban information there, and I can get the link.
So if you want to post that in the Q&A, Lauren, that would be helpful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know there's a lot of students who are wondering that. And it looks like we have more questions. Maybe the same student? Yes. Does anyone know such information about this? Someone called LA Airport and they said you can enter. Okay, so Lauren, you're going to send the CDC travel page so students can look for the official information? Right.
Yeah, just give me a few seconds to find it.
That's okay. So let me see. Please feel free to enter your questions. I know that as a new student, you probably have a lot. Some of the things that I know some students in the past have asked me was a little bit about the virtual start. So those of you who can't come into the country, what can you do to start your studies online? Berkeley or Lauren, does one of you want to just maybe give a little summary of that?
Yeah, so you can start your studies online as an F1 student while you're outside of the country. And this will just kind of allow you to start making that progress on your academic program and help save on a little bit of cost too, living expenses, travel expenses. So if you can't get here for the fall semester in person, that is something we really highly recommend that you do. So if anyone has any specific questions on that, please feel free to let us know.
Yes. All right, we have a question. I am now during my OPT period. Can I just begin my classes these coming fall semester and transfer my F1 visa to UTD before my OPT ends in February 2021? Might be a Lauren question.
So,
okay.
Yeah, so so as soon as you transfer your CVIS record to us, your OPT stops. So if you do transfer to us, you would need to start classes. You would not be able to work and attend classes at the same time. So you would need to decide, do you want to work up until your OPT ends, or do you want to start classes?
Okay. I have another question. When will the I-20 be able to be sent to China?
Berkeley, do we have an answer on that one?
So there is a step you can take to request us to send that to you, and I can send you the link to the e-form you need to fill out. And once you fill that out, we will process that request and send it to you as soon as possible.
Right.
Katie, where do I post the link for the CDC?
Lauren, you should see in the top right of your screen, there's, oh, maybe as a presenter you can't. There's like 2 conversation boxes with a question mark. Do you have that?
Yes.
Yes. If you click there, you'll see all the questions we're being asked, and you can post that there.
Got it.
Awesome. Okay, so we have another question about F1. So if I have my old F1 visa that hasn't expired and UTD's I-20, can I still get into the US?
So how old is, well, okay, so we recommend that your CVIS record and your visa match. That's for the recommendation. If you can always contact the embassy, I know they're closed right now, but we would recommend that they match. If you want to contact the embassy when they're open and ask if you could still get into the United States with that visa. Some people have had luck, but I would contact them before trying.
Okay. Maybe a similar point. Do you guys have any information about when the visa appointments will be reopened in China?
No, we do not. I actually asked students before we have any information. I've actually heard from some students that they are getting visa appointments. I don't know. That's what I've heard. I know in India there are some students that are getting some appointments in October. So that's, good news. China, I haven't heard anything yet, but I don't know if any of the students have heard anything. That's usually where I get my information.
Yeah.
So.
I think this is the same student who is asking about the F2 and F1 change. So can I change my I-20 application? I think I made a mistake as the F2 visa. Which status should I choose in the e-portal for new students to register?
So do you want to change I'm confused by the question. Do you want to change to be an F? Do they want to change their status?
I think the person who asked that question wrong, maybe you can reply and give us a little bit more detail. So we can wait a minute and see exactly what you need. I see a question as well, if UTD has any insurance about COVID-19. Well, regarding health insurance, all F1 students, all F and J students are required to hold student health insurance. And so you're automatically assessed the student health insurance plan when you enroll in classes, if you are studying here on campus. If you're going to be studying virtually in China, then you can request a waiver of that student health insurance plan through the Student Health Center. If you are studying here in the US, you are required to have health insurance. Therefore, if you do get sick, or if there is, if you have an injury or something, your cost will be much less than if you had to pay out of pocket. Trust me. It's not specific to COVID. That is a general rule against the entire UT system. Regarding the COVID-19, I do not know if there is specific insurance just covering that. And so that is something that I would have to do a little research on. But the nice thing is you do have the student health insurance, which will help you quite a bit with the health expenses. Going to go through the rest of these questions. Let's see if our student with the F2 answered. No, not yet. Okay. So we have someone who wants to know if the final exam will take place online. So right now, all summer classes are online. So if you're a current student, then my recommendation is to talk to your professor, but likely your exams will be online. For fall, you have a couple different options. So you can start online and you can come in the second 8 weeks, right, Lauren?
Yes, so that is an option right now. There is the option to start virtually, and then there is the option to start in the second 8 weeks.
Yeah, so if you're starting virtually and you're taking the entire semester virtually, then of course you'll have to take your final exam online. Right. But if you do come in the second 8 weeks, then it's likely that your exam will be in person. UTD is putting a lot of measures in place to accommodate our kind of new COVID regulations. So smaller class sizes, spacing apart desks and seats and tables, trying to stagger when students are going to be on campus, so you won't be sitting right next to somebody or anything like that. And so please be assured that UTD is putting a lot of efforts into creating this campus community that is safe for you. Let's see. I am a current student I'm currently in the US and on OPT right now. If I decide that all classes will be online, do I need to move to Texas before the classes begin, or can I stay in the state in which I'm living right now?
So if they, let me see that question. Hold on. I'm currently in the US and on OPT. If I decide the classes will be online. Okay, so if you want, so it's a violation of your F1 status to enroll in classes and have OPT at the same time. So you would need to decide if you want to do classes or do you want to have OPT. Okay, so if you, I'm assuming that you would be a transfer student, this person. So even if classes were online, it would still, you would need to decide, do you want to do OPT or do you want to do classes? It doesn't matter. And if you did want to do classes, I guess you if they were online, you don't have to move to Texas, but you would, OPT would stop. And right now, I just want to put out there that SEVP has not just, as of right now, SEVP has not made a decision on whether or not we can do classes online for the fall yet. Okay, so they haven't said that that classes can stay online, but it can change. So as of right now, they haven't said anything, but they could come back in August and say that classes, we have to go back to face-to-face classes.
We have another question. I deferred my offer to 2021 spring. Can I study fully online, or do I have to be in class for the MBA? Do I get to keep my scholarship? So I guess the first question is, are classes in the spring going to be fully online or in person or a combo still?
So as of right now, I'm just going to advise you that classes will be normal in spring because that's what I've been doing. So I would say prepare for classes to be normal and prepare for a semester of being, as maintaining face-to-face classes.
Regarding your scholarship, my recommendation is to, you can contact the department or the organization which issued you the scholarship, and you can also contact the UTD scholarships office. There's a specific office about scholarships, and I will find that information for their website, and I will post their webpage in the chat box, so you'll be able to find it. Because ISSO and ICP, we don't manage scholarships, but there's a lot of other offices on campus that do. Okay, Lauren, I think this is another you question. If I have CPT and I have finished most of my credits, can I do an internship during my spring or fall semester?
Let me go. I like to look at the question. Give me one
Okay,
second.
let me publish it.
Okay.
All right, it's published.
If I have CPT and I have finished most of my credits, can I do an internship during? Okay, so in order to be eligible for CPT, you need to have a year of F1 status, and so that would be in 2 long semesters, so spring and fall or spring, and you need to have a GPA for 3.0 for grad and 2.0 for undergrad. So the ISSO, we don't handle the credit side of it. So the credit side is done academically. We handle the internship, we handle the immigration side of it, okay? So as long as you meet the immigration wise, which is you've done the 2 long semesters in F1 status and you meet the GPA requirements, there should be no reason why you should not be able to do an internship in your spring or fall semester. Of course, there's other considerations to make, but you would need to come in and speak with us or make an appointment to speak with us about that. But that's pretty much how you meet the requirements to get a CPT I-20.
Okay. Next question, I think I can answer. How would the university arrange the class timing to accommodate students across different time zones? So my understanding is that a lot of the online courses are through the e-learning web pages. So a lot of professors are posting videos of their lectures for you to watch. So you can watch them at your convenience, and then there's assignments that you have to complete. They can check if you've logged in, they can see exactly what work you've completed, and they have specific requirements as that your professor has that says, okay, you have to do this, this, and this, and they can check on that, and that all contributes to your grade. Chenkian, maybe you have a little insight to this as a student. Do you want to maybe share some of your experience taking courses online? I think you're muted. You have to unmute yourself under your picture.
Sorry, I was about to say that I have not taken a lot of online courses, so I don't have a lot of experience in it.
Okay, that's fine. But like I said, a lot of the classes are managed through the e-learning website. And so if you've already taken our online orientation modules, then you've seen e-learning. And so each class has its own, it's called an organization, and the professor can provide assignments and due dates and things like that. And so they will assign you different tasks. If you can't watch a lecture, my guess is that they're going to record it, but what I highly recommend is if you are taking classes online, once you get your schedule and you know your professor's information, send them an email and ask them, tell them, I am currently living in China and I'll be here for until this date. Can you talk to me a little bit about what I can do to make sure I'm staying up with all of the class information and make sure that I'm not missing deadlines due to differing time zones? Professors are there to help you succeed, and it's okay for you to send them an email, ask them questions. They want to help you, so they will not consider it rude if you're asking them. And in fact, they'll probably be pretty happy that you're sending them an email and reaching out to them to make sure you're doing a good job. Okay. If I got a TA job, can I get full tuition remission or just partly?
I think it depends on the type of the TA that's offered. They're all different.
Yeah, I agree with you, Lauren. I think they're all a little bit different. And so you can reach out to your academic department or the department that's giving you the teaching assistantship, and they will let you know exactly how much tuition remission they'll give you. Sometimes it's a stipend, sometimes it's full tuition. It just depends on that particular job and that particular department.
Right.
Do you have any idea if Mexico is available to transfer to the US? So maybe traveling to Mexico and then coming to the US through the Mexican border is my guess. Oh, it seems like the same person. Can I stay in Mexico for 14 days and then get into the US?
Okay. I'm assuming to enter as an initial student.
It sounds like it.
So I can only speak for the United States. You would need to speak with you might need a visa to come, I don't know what you need to get into Mexico as a Chinese citizen, to come in. I mean, of course you can go in through Mexico, but I don't know what you need visa-wise, right? So you might need to talk to the Mexican embassy to see if you need a visa to come in. And then if they if they are going to allow you into the United States that way, then yeah, I mean, I'm not Border Patrol, but if they're going to allow you to come in, then yes, that might be a way to get in. But I would definitely speak with the Mexican embassy consulate to see what kind of document like visa you need to get into Mexico.
Okay. I am already in the US and got an electronic transfer pending I-20. Will I receive a paper copy of it?
I can answer that one. So if you're already in the United States, that electronic copy is considered a valid document, so you don't necessarily need that paper copy unless you're applying for a visa, but you can submit that original I-20 request form that I sent earlier and go ahead and request that if that's something that you think you're going to need.
Great. And Berkeley, I think this is a question for you too. I have a question about the original hand-signed I-20. I have already got my scanned I-20. Do you have an estimated time when the ISSO office is going to reopen and be able to mail the original I-20?
Yeah, so we're mailing those original I-20s out now for our initial students. So again, just fill out that original I-20 form. I can resend the link if it kind of got lost earlier, but go ahead and fill that out and we'll send it out to you as soon as possible.
Thank you. Lauren, so we have the F2 student responded. They were asking questions about possibly filling out their I-20 request incorrectly. So they had chosen transfer student and input their F2 visa CVIS ID. And so they want to know if that's correct. I'm going to scroll up and see exactly what their other question was, because we've answered so many I've forgotten.
Can you publish the question?
Yes, I can.
Thank you. I chose transfer student and put F2 visa CVIS ID. Is this wrong? So yeah, if you hold an F2 and you put transfer, then that is wrong, but it's not, it shouldn't stop us from processing. So my question for wrong is, do you want a change of status I-20? That's what I want to know for wrong.
Okay, because his initial question was, I'm currently in the United States and hold an F2 visa, but it looks like he asked if he doesn't get his F1 visa before September 1, can he do the full-time study? So, and then he asked if he had filled out the portal wrong. Rob, maybe it would be better to send an email to ISSO Perspective.
Yeah, Wrong may need to set up an appointment with us, and I can send in here how to make an appointment. But real quick, if Wrong's trying to do a change of status, there's two ways to do it. You can do a change of status inside the United States, and then you can do a change of status outside the United States. Doing it outside the United States at this point could be risky just because of everything that's going on COVID related. Doing it inside the United States could take up to 6 to 8 months, but as an F2 student, Wrong could study part-time. But we can talk about that in an advising session, but that's just generally how it would happen. But I can post how to set up an advising session.
Thank you, Lauren. That is perfect. And then we have a student who mentioned that when they were talking about insurance, they were told that they need to provide an I-94, and they want to know what an I-94 is. First of all, about insurance, I'm going to send you the insurance webpage. This is the student health insurance, so that might help you. But Lauren, do you want to explain real quick what an I-94 is?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm going to pull up the link for the I-94.
Oh, perfect.
So the I-94 is an arrival and a departure document that just shows that it's an electronic document that shows when you enter and depart the United States. That's pretty much what it is. And so now it is you can do it online. So every time you leave the United States, it keeps the history of it. And every time you enter the United States, you get a new number. So it's going to be, I think it's a 7 or 9 digit number. And you can actually get the record of it online. And I'm trying to pull up the link right now so you can see. So yeah, here it is. So let me send it to you through this chat. So you would go to this website that I just posted. You're going to type in I think you're going to type in your name, maybe your date of birth and your passport number. And then it should pull up your travel. It's going to pull up your travel history, and it's going to give you your most recent I-94 number. So like I said, every time you enter the United States, that number changes. You need to be sure that when you look at the I-94 number, that that it is correct with the travel history of when you entered, that date matches. If the information is not correct, you would need to contact the ISSO so we can tell you how where you need to go to get that record corrected.
Thank you. Okay. We have a lot of questions. We have about 10 to 15 minutes left, so we'll try to get through as many as possible. One person says, I'm still wondering the CPT visa next summer. Am I eligible to do CPT if I can only enter the US in November or December, but taking online classes before? And are there other possible ways?
So that depends on the major, okay? So like I said earlier, you have to have 2 long semesters in F1 status, right? In order to be eligible for CPT. Students that are enrolled, well, students who are in these following majors, I'm going to post them right now.
Thank you, Lauren.
See, so it's Master's in Business Analytics, Master's in Computer Engineering, Master's in Information Technology and Management, Master's in Management Science, and Master's in Marketing. These 5 majors, if you are enrolled and you take classes in fall 2020, if it's online or in person, they are the only ones that would be eligible to take classes, to take a CPT in summer 2021. So if you're doing face-to-face classes in fall 2020, then possibly yes. But if you're going to do online classes in fall 2020, then that is not going to count. Does that make sense?
I think so.
I hope so.
All right. We have another question about traveling to the US. So do you know any third country that I can stay for 14 days and get into the US or get back to the US? I think most of that will be on the CDC, or not the CDC, the travel website you posted, Lauren?
It could be, yeah. You'd have to maybe look on the CDC and see if there's any travel restrictions. That would be something that they would need to look on them for themselves.
Yeah, that's. How do I transfer my I-20?
Okay, transferring your I-20 to UT Dallas or out of UT Dallas? I'm assuming in, hopefully.
We hope so.
Okay, so you would need to talk to your current school and you would need to ask them to transfer your CBIS record to UT Dallas. We have a code that you would need to get from us, and that's our the transferring code. You would need to submit documents to us, which would be an affidavit, bank statement, your passport. We have a transfer clearance document, and then your CBIS record. Once we have all those documents, we could issue something called the transfer pending I-20. And then I can link you to the transfer page on our website.
Awesome. You're so great, Lauren. We have another question, and this might be for any one of us. By now, do we know how many students will come to campus and how many will choose virtual study? Do we know a percentage?
I do not.
Yes, I do not either. I think that's something that we are still trying to know. I know UTD has really been looking into managing class sizes, like I said, and kind of trying to stagger things. Each academic department is doing it a little bit differently, trying to control that. But as of right now, we're not 100% sure as to how many students will physically be on campus and how many students are choosing to study online. The great thing is you have both options. And so regardless, you can start your studies at UTD. Because I mean, really, don't you want to come and see me? Or at least see me virtually? Because me and Berkeley, Lauren, and Cheng Kian, we're all awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. If I can't arrive in the US before the school starts in fall, can I arrive to school in the middle of the semester and have classes in person? Or can I only choose to have online classes for the whole semester? So if I have a virtual start, am I a full, I guess number 2 question is, am I a full-time student or part-time student if I do the virtual start?
Okay, so there's 2 parts to that question. Is that?
Yeah. So the first part is, do they have to do the online classes for the entire semester, or can they do it for half the semester and then come later? And the second question is, if I have a virtual start, am I full-time or part-time?
Okay, so the second part of that, I would say if you're doing virtual hours, there's nothing that says they have to enroll full-time, but we would recommend they enroll full-time, which is 12 hours for undergrads, 9 hours for grad students. The first part of that question, Berkeley, do you know? You want to take a stab at that?
I know there is an option for you to come for the second half in the 8 weeks. We're still kind of working on the process for that. So we'll post more information about that specifically on our website when we have it, but we are working on allowing you to come for that second 8-week session.
And I sent you, sorry, I'm going to publish this so you can see it, but the person who asked that question, I sent you a link to the fall academic calendar. So what Berkeley is saying, there's during the second 8 weeks, so the semester is basically 16 weeks long. There's a first set of 8 weeks and a second set of 8 weeks, and you have options to take classes throughout that. So most classes last the entire semester, but some only last for half. So you can come for the second 8-week session, which starts
10/12.
Thank you. The academic calendar has a lot of dates, but that way you can see. I sent you the academic calendar. That'll help you a little bit to see that info.
And if that was going to be an option for you, the ISSO would be sending out communications so we could update the I-20 for you.
Okay. Can students defer their admission more than one time? So in other words, can a fall 20 student defer to fall 21 after their spring 21 deferment?
I believe students do that, but I would talk with admissions. That's something that admissions handles.
Yes, that is something admissions handles, the admissions enrollment services. And so you can I'll find their website and post it for you. I want to, no, I don't know. I cannot remember how long you can defer. So I'll see if I can find their website, and that way you can reach out to them, and you can send them an email.
I can post their email.
Oh, you're wonderful. I'm going to publish this message. Okay. Okay, we have time for about 2 more questions, I would say. Does the online courses grade in A through F level or just pass fail? I don't know. Do you know, Lauren?
I know they were doing pass fail in spring because of COVID, but I don't know how they're going to continue that. That would be an academic advisor question. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's a good point. So you can contact your academic department, and they'll be able to give you a little bit more insight into how they're going to be grading courses for the fall semester. Okay. Have some duplicate questions. I have got a $1,000 scholarship. When can I apply for in-state tuition and fees rate? That's more of a bursar office question. So the bursar office is in charge of your tuition and fees. And so I can send you their website. Usually for the in-state tuition, what it will be is if you got the scholarship that makes you eligible for in-state tuition, then they'll put a credit on your account. They'll bill you for out-of-state tuition, but then they put a credit equaling the difference between in-state and out-of-state. So it's usually, once they see that you have the scholarship, it's kind of an automatic process. But you can also email the bursar office to ask that question. So I will send you their email address, and you will be able to reach out to them. We're also having our webinar next Thursday on paying your tuition and fees, and that could be a good opportunity for you to ask that question. Okay, I'm going to take the last question. So I am currently holding a J1 scholar visa in the US. I cannot go back to China to get my F1 visa and come back in time. I'm applying for a J1 to F1 transfer in the US. It takes more than half a year. Can I use J1 to take classes online?
So I'm not a J1 advisor, I'm an F1 advisor. So I can give you the J1 advisor's information. Mm-hmm. Her name is Christina Zhang, and she would be able to help you with that. And we also have J advising appointments available as well. Okay. And so let me link you to that.
Let me publish it, Lauren, and you can send the message directly if you want to.
All right.
Okay. You know what? I know we have a few more questions, but I think we are just about out of time. We can only go till 9:30. If you have additional questions, if you have advising questions, you can send an email to the ISSO perspective at utdallas.edu. Is that right, Lauren and Berkeley?
Yes.
I know they have been very quick to get through emails. Please note that it does take about 3 business days, maybe 4, to reply because we have a lot of students emailing. If you have questions about other items, you're welcome to email my office. It's icprograms@utdallas.edu. And we are very happy to answer your questions. Even if you don't know who to email, we will direct you to the right department. And for FACSS, Chen Qian, she had put the QR code. So here, I'll bring that up again so you can see it. Takes me a minute, guys. I'm sorry. Microsoft Teams is fun. So this way you can reach out to FACSS through the QR code and reach out to Chenkian. And that's going to be a very good way to get a hold of them. The nice thing about FACSS is they will be able to give you a lot of guidance, and they have a lot of experience being students here at UTD. And so they have a lot of that student perspective that you just might need. Okay. Thank you for participating. Please remember to check out our orientation webpage. We have so many resources on there, and we hope that you're able to take a look and attend our future webinar sessions. Like I said, we're going to have one with FACSS. We're going to have one with the Bursar office, so many. And so those will answer a lot of your questions. So thank you so much for attending, and we cannot wait to see you either on campus or virtually in the fall. Goodbye, everyone.